That 17-year-old girl was shot and killed inside her apartment right here. And after going through those court documents, it looks like this was an accidental shooting. According to court documents, 3 people, including 20-year-old Rayona Hextall, were at Nidrea Marshall's home at the Brentmore Penn Center Apartments in Wilkins Township yesterday.
The details that followed paint a devastating picture of young people, alcohol, a gun introduced into a space that should have been safe, and a single moment that changed everything. What began as a late-night gathering inside a Pittsburgh apartment ended in a tragedy that would leave a family shattered and a community searching for answers. On February 23rd in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, what started as a late-night gathering turned tragic. According to investigators, several people were inside an apartment at the Brentmore Apartments complex, smoking marijuana and drinking tequila. Among them was 17-year-old Nidrea Marshall, a student at Woodland Hills High School. Police say 20-year-old Rayona Hextall had been drinking Espolon tequila with 3 other people in Nidrea's home. Nidrea's mother had been out of town during the incident. Around 3 a.m, authorities alleged that Hextall began playing with a pistol inside the apartment. Investigators say the gun belonged to Leith Council Jr., who told police he had met Hextall on Snapchat and had been invited to the 2-bedroom apartment earlier that evening. He arrived around 9 that night, bringing the firearm with him. At some point, he removed the pistol from his waistband because it was rubbing against his skin. According to the criminal complaint, Hextall appeared interested in the weapon. Counsel removed the magazine and showed her the basics of the gun. Police say Hextall even took cell phone photos of herself holding it. Counsel later told investigators he reinserted the magazine but did not manipulate the slide to chamber around. He then placed the gun on a couch outside the teen's bedroom. Hours later, around 3 a.m, police say Hextall picked up the gun and walked into Nidrea's bedroom. Counsel followed. According to the affidavit, Hextall waved the gun around at the end of the bed for several minutes. A witness, identified as Malachi Brown, told police he became uncomfortable because Hextall's finger was on the trigger. Brown said he stood up from the bed out of fear of being shot. Moments later, the gun discharged. The bullet struck Nidrea in the head as she sat on her bed. Brown told investigators Hextall appeared surprised when the weapon fired. Brown ran from the apartment. The counsel left the room. Both men called 911. Police said Hextall initially claimed someone else had fired the shot. However, 2 witnesses at the scene told investigators Hextall had been waving the gun when it went off. Officers also reported that Hextall's 1-year-old daughter was inside the apartment at the time, sitting in a car seat near the front door. Paramedics pronounced Nidrea Marshall dead at the scene. Allegheny County Police charged Rayona Hextall with involuntary manslaughter and recklessly endangering another person. She was taken to the Allegheny County Jail, where a judge denied bail. Her preliminary hearing is scheduled for March 6th. Investigators have not publicly explained why Hextall was in the apartment or detailed her relationship to Nidrea. Nidrea's mother told police she was out of town at the time of the shooting. What remains is the devastating reality. A 17-year-old girl lost her life inside her own bedroom. A moment described as playing with a gun became permanent in a single second. And another family is left grieving a life that should have continued far beyond that night.
According to the criminal complaint, they were hanging out and drinking. You had several people in that room. The suspect, victim, 2 men, and the suspect's 1-year-old daughter was waiting in a car seat near the front door of the apartment.
It's very scary and sad. I mean, there's a young person lost their life, which is really bad.
Today, we now know more about what brought County Police to the Brentmore at Penn Center Apartments in the early morning hours of Monday. Witnesses inside the 3rd-floor apartment turned crime scene told police 20-year-old Rayona Hextall was waving a gun with her finger on the trigger when it discharged. 17-year-old Nidrea Marshall was struck. She died. Helen Hayhurst and her husband live on the floor where it happened.
That was a lot of noise that woke us up. And it's amazing, with the amount of that noise, we didn't hear any gunshot.
According to investigators, Hextall, Marshall, and the 2 men were taking shots and smoking marijuana. Hextall's daughter was asleep when the gun went off, but wasn't in the room. Police also say the firearm legally belonged to one of the men.
Very sad. I would prefer if guns weren't permitted in the building, of course. I'm not a big fan of them. I don't know, but, constitutional rights and all that.
As for the apartment, we've learned it's being rented by the victim's mother, who was out of town at the time. Hextall told investigators she wasn't playing with the gun. It was one of the men, but both of them told police it was her. The people I spoke with today say this is a secure building.
I mean, they really do give you a thorough working over, you might as well say, to get in here.
It will be 2 years that I'm here in a few months, and it's been a quiet, wonderful experience, and I have no plans on leaving because of what happened.
In the hours after the incident, social media quickly became a battleground of emotion, speculation, and divided opinion. Friends of both the victim and the suspect flooded timelines with reactions, memories, and personal perspectives. Some were adamant that what happened could not have been an accident, insisting the shooting was intentional. Others pushed back, saying they had never known the suspect to be reckless or violent, especially as a mother, and struggled to reconcile the allegations with the person they believed her to be. At the same time, that defense was challenged by others who questioned the level of judgment involved. Many pointed to the presence of her 1-year-old child inside the apartment, arguing that regardless of intent, bringing a toddler into an environment where there were weapons, drugs, and alcohol raised serious concerns. According to reports, the baby was positioned near the front door in a car seat, while the adults gathered inside the bedroom, an arrangement that only deepened public confusion and debate about responsibility and decision-making that night. As rumors circulated and opinions hardened, the online discourse reflected a community grappling not only with grief, but with difficult questions about accountability, parenting, and how a single moment could unravel so many lives at once. The legal process will determine accountability. The courts will weigh evidence, testimony, and intent, but no ruling will restore what was lost inside that bedroom. A 17-year-old girl is gone, taken in a moment that can never be undone. What was described as playing with a gun became a permanent loss in a matter of seconds.